Yes, Warren Joyce's team were twice denied by the woodwork, and Victory made it very difficult by defending doggedly and in depth, ensuring the space in and around their penalty area was in short supply. But too often a lack of urgency in the forward third and a tendency to pass the ball backwards and sideways prevented City from exploiting their numerical advantage. Victory were reduced to 10 men before the game had really had a chance to take shape. Niedermeier was booked in the 12th minute for a foul on City frontman Jamie McLaren, meaning he would have to walk a tightrope for the next 78 minutes. No one expected the German's night to be over barely 3 minutes later, but such was the case when he badly misread a long ball down the right. Melbourne City's Jamie McLaren nails the penalty. Credit. AAPA's McLaren took possession and shielded the ball in the penalty area. Niedermeier clumsily clattered into him, giving the Socceroo striker the opportunity to tumble to the ground, and referee Peter Green to point to the spot. He also brandished a second yellow card, and that was the end of the game for Niedermeier, who could only watch from the sidelines en route to the dressing room as McLaren stepped up to slam the ball past Lawrence Thomas's dive. That made it 3 goals in as many games for McLaren since he joined City in the January window at the end of the Asian Cup. Up to that point this was a derby in name only. Such games are expected to be fiercely contested, ferocious affairs, but the opening of this encounter had been cautious at best, tepid at worst, as both sides sparred with little conviction or menace. Richie de Laet over Corey Brown. Credit. AAP. Things changed a bit as Victory readjusted following their reduction to 10 men and City looked to press home the initiative. Victory boss Kevin Muscat took off attacker Elvis Cambosa, who had barely got the chance to sample the atmosphere of his first derby, and replaced him with centre-back James Donachie as he tried to ensure that his team at least stayed defensively sound, even if their attacking options were now necessarily limited. Shortly after, Keisuke Honda went into Green's notebook, in what seemed a harsh decision, and Victory's frustrations mounted. The game was still strangely subdued, but City striker Shea Harrison, on loan striker from Premier League club Tottenham, was beginning to make his presence felt. The Londoner wriggled clear of Victory defenders before shooting over, then created space well with another dribble to set up current Bacchus, but the midfielder also fired high. Florent Berenger also followed suit for City after he was set up by Richie de Laet, and by the half-hour mark the stats sheet showed Victory had not even had a shot at goal against City's 5. But for all their possession, City was failing to create any real gilt-edged chances or break Victory down. They kept the ball well, recycling it backwards and forwards and from side to side. Their patience was admirable, but a quicker, more incisive approach may have yielded better rewards. Harrison once again tried to make things happen, dribbling past Thomas Deng to make space for a shot which Donachie blocked. Then City midfielder Luke Bratton went into the book for a foul on Corey Brown, and Victory's Spanish midfielder Raul Baena followed suit for retaliating against Bratton. The Light Blues almost doubled their advantage just before the interval when Scott Jamieson pulled a pass back into the path of Roston Griffiths, whose thumping drive beat Thomas back, thudded back from the base of the post. Costa Barbaros's centre levels the score for Victory. Credit. AAP Muscat looked for something different at the start of the second half, replacing James Troisi with Ola Toivonen, the big Swedish striker who has been so effective for Victory this season. But it was diminutive Weidman Costa Barbaros's who got the hosts back into the game 4 minutes after the restart. The VAR officials were reviewing a Victory penalty appeal, with the hosts claiming a Barbaros's shot had struck Curtis Good on the elbow when the New Zealander was played through on the right. He drove in an effort from a tight angle which Eugene Galekovic really should have had covered, but the vastly experienced keeper let the ball squirm in at his near post. The goal enlivened Victory, and they had their best spell of the game in the next 10 minutes. But it was City who came closest next when once again the hosts were saved by the woodwork. Thomas was beaten by Bratton's long-range drive only to see the ball ricochet to safety after hitting the crossbar. Substitute Dario Vidasic drove over wildly from a goalmouth scramble, and that was really just about that.